Okay. We can move on.
Okay, thank you. So, sorry I was jumping into the speech portion, but we also have the word of the day and the quote of the day. 那我今天忘了告诉大家，我们今天有今日之词和今日之言。So the word of the day or the theme today is hot summer days. I picked this theme because we really don't have hot summer days in San Francisco, and I thought we would use this meeting to, remind us there are hot summer days, and then actually it's really close by. If you just drive across the bridge, it'll be like 40 degrees higher. There are places that's 100 degrees within 1 hour drive from us. And then the quote I picked is actually a quote from Mark Twain. It says, "The coldest winter is summer in San Francisco." 最寒冷的冬天是旧金山的夏天。And this past weekend we hit almost 52 degrees. The lowest record was 51 degrees back in 1964. So who knows, we might break the record this year. So with the theme and the quote of the day, I think the quote will be a bit hard, but if you're able to use them in your speech, we will ring the gong for you. So our next speaker, Alan Wu, he is a chiropractor, and he's going to share with us some very interesting insight about the relationship with chiropractor and high blood pressures. 我们接下来第二位演讲员是 Alan Wu。Alan 是我们这里非常有名的一个脊椎神经科医生，大家可能没有想到过脊椎跟神经会跟高血压有什么关系呢？我们有请 Alan 来告诉我们。Okay, and Alberto is going to be Alan's evaluator.
Sure, madam.
Have Alberto be
Alan chose the Advanced Communicator Series, the Professional Speaker, and his project number 4, the Professional Seminar, which has 3 main objectives. Plan and present the seminar with a specific learning objective. Number 2, relate to the audience by using a seminar presentation style. And number 3, use seminar presentation techniques to promote group participation, learning, and personal growth. And your time is?
20 to 40 minutes. Thank you so much. Actually, that's what it says in the manual, but I'll try to keep it compact within 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for doing so. Yeah, 10 minutes, yeah.
No, you can stick to the format. I mean, I don't have a problem. You just tell me what to time you, and I'll time you.
10 minutes is fine.
Okay.
I think 10 minutes should be more than plenty. Thank you so much, Patty. I mean, well, it has been a while since my last speech, and it's definitely good to be back. Right? And I know everybody should get a piece of paper. We're going to take a look at it in a bit. So if you're looking at it, just go ahead and cover it up. But we're going to jump right into that towards the end of the presentation. Now, today's presentation is a little bit different because it's going to be educational. It's going to be educational about my profession, which is chiropractic. Okay. We're also going to do a case study all together towards the end of the presentation. So just stay with me. Now, it is my sincere wish that after today's presentation, you will have more insight understanding about the chiropractic, because a lot of times when people talk about chiropractic, they think about the lower back pain and neck pain, right? So hopefully today I will open up your horizon just a little bit to let you know that there's a lot more than just the musculoskeletal issues that we focus on. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you who have heard me talk or sit in my seminar before, you guys always understand that I always promote wellness. And there are 5 essential keys to your wellness. And I actually got this right before I started. Okay. So there are 5 essential keys to your wellness, and they are eat well, move well, think well, sleep well, and adjust well by your chiropractor. I'll go into that. Now, the first one is eat well. What does I mean by eat well? It means that eat more freshly produced organic if you can. Okay, eat more vegetable and fruit and less meats. All this are actually separated talk. I can go into that, but we don't have time. We only have 10 minutes for today, so I'm just going to go very general on this. So eat well means eat freshly produced organic, more fruit, vegetable, and less meat. And the second part is move well, means exercise. Okay. What the research shows that if you can walk half an hour a day for 5 days a week, you can reduce your high blood pressure by 50%. So if you're taking notes, that's actually a really good one to write down. Half hour a day for 5 days a week, reduce your high blood pressure by 50%. So exercise is huge when we come down to the solution of wellness. Number 3 is think well. What I mean by think well is stress level. Now, nowadays in the modern society, there's always a lot of stress going on right now. And what you don't know is that stress is actually the #1 trigger to the #1 cause of death in America, which is heart disease. So this is a time to allow you to, maybe just 5 minutes a day, to allow you to give yourself some downtime throughout the day. 5 minutes. All you need is just 5 minutes. Cut out all the stimulation, stay in the dark room, to allow yourself to regroup yourself. And by doing so, you can reduce your high blood pressure, reduce your stress level. By doing so, you can have more quality and also the quantity of life as well. And number 4, rest well. What I mean by rest well is sleep. Not only you need to get enough sleep, which is quantity, but you also need to get the quality of the sleep. Now, a lot of times, especially when you're under a lot of stress, we talked about the number 3, think well. When you're under a lot of stress, you don't really get a full night, a very sound sleep, right? You get a very chopped up sleep. What you don't know is that when you have that kind of situation, you actually put more stress onto your heart, which means it's another recipe for your heart disease. Okay, so eat well, move well, think well, rest well, and the very last one is adjusted well by your chiropractor, and that's where we come in. Okay. Now, of course, a lot chiropractors. When we talk about chiropractors, people always say that, oh, you guys are the bone doctors, right? You guys crack bones. That's 50% true, I can tell you that. But the other 50% is actually when we're cracking your bones, which I don't really like to use the term crack, we're adjusting your bones, we're actually working with your nervous system. Okay? So what you don't know is that your nervous system is a master system that controls everything in your body. Every system, every organ, every cell in your body is controlled by your nervous system. There's no way around it. Okay? But what you don't know is that your nervous system is coming up on your brain and your spinal cord. So every time when we're adjusting your spine, we're actually dealing with your nervous system. We're adjusting your nervous system. Does that make any sense? Do I lose anybody? Raise your hand if you don't know what I say. Okay. So it's a very important concept I want to get across to, because your nervous system is really the one master system that controls all. Now, today, with that being said, today I'm going to cover a very particular group of people that can get dynamite effect from the chiropractic care. And those people are actually the people who have high blood pressure. Raise your hand if you know someone in your family or friends that is actually having high blood pressure or taking medication for it. Raise your hand if anybody knows. That's about right, right? Everybody, almost everybody knows somebody that's taking the high blood pressure pills for it. Okay. Sometimes it's not just one. Sometimes it's not two. Sometimes it's 3 different kind of medications all come together, what we call the cocktail drugs, that can help you to control your blood pressure. Okay. But here's the key. This is a takeaway message I want you guys to take away is, even your blood pressure system is controlled by your nervous system. Okay. It is controlled by your nervous system. It's controlled by what we call the autonomic nervous system. Okay. And now going to the paper that I gave you earlier today, going to that. So this is a study. You guys, everybody should have a paper, right? So this is a study published in 2007 by the Journal of Human Hypertension, which is one of the most prestigious journals that's out there for the high blood pressure and heart disease. Okay, this is published in 2007. What it says is that when you have atlas vertebrae, which is another name for the first segment, first bone of your spine, is what we call the atlas. When you have atlas vertebrae realignment and achieve on the arterial pressure going in hypertensive patient, a pilot study. So this is only the first page of the article. If you guys want the whole thing, I can forward that to you. It says $30 on there, but I'm going to go give you for free at no charge. Okay, so looking at the introductory over here, where I actually have underlined it. If you're looking at over here, it says a manual correction of this malalignment has been associated with a reduced arterial pressure. And if you go into that, it's like correcting the malalignment of the atlas vertebrae reduce and maintain a low blood pressure. What I mean by that is that every time we have a mechanical issue or a stress fault with your spine, especially on your very first bone, what we call the atlas, you have a direct relationship with high blood pressure. Okay, and by manually adjusting that, we can reduce your blood pressure naturally. Okay, now moving to the right side over here, of course, here give you a conclusion. I wrote it on the side too as well. He said that the research is actually 8 weeks long. It lasts about 8 weeks. And the average reduction of your blood pressure is 17 millimeter mercury in systolic and 10 millimeter mercury in the diastolic. which is almost equivalent to 2 medications that people were taking in this case. So in other words, by doing so, we can help you to reduce your blood pressure naturally without the medication. And then what's more amazing is that over here, towards the end, towards the finished part of the introduction, it says no adverse effect were recorded. That means no side effect was recorded. Isn't that pretty amazing? We can help you to reduce your heart blood pressure naturally without medication with no side effects. And this was published in 2007. Now, you probably say that, well, it's just, it's a study, right? But what I'd like to tell you is that I'd like to do a case study with you because this is an actual case in my office. Of course, I'm not going to release the patient confidentiality. I'm not going to use the name. But I can give you all the other aspects about it. Any questions so far? Okay. So, this is a young male. He's 32 years old. He's very athletic. He's an athlete. He plays basketball twice a week. And he plays a basketball league, and they were #1 in the whole season. But what happened is that when he came in, okay, just go over the specs. He's 168 pounds with a height about 5'9". Now, if you do a BMI index calculation, that's right underneath the normal BMI index. This is actually pretty rare for the modern society because almost everybody nowadays are either obese or overweight because we're so lack of exercise and a healthy living lifestyle. But this guy's right under there. It's a BMI index is 24. But what happened is that when he was playing basketball 2 years ago, okay, he was playing in the league. It was a championship league. They were very close to capturing the #1 throughout the whole league. But what happened is that when he was going out for the rebound for the basketball, one of the teammates accidentally elbowed him in the neck area. Okay, and at the time he almost blacked out. But because it was so important for the basketball game, so he decided to stay and play the whole game, finish the whole game. And they didn't win the game. They won the #1, which is very, very, very impressed. But what happened is on the very second day, he was sent to the ER because he has dizziness, he has vomiting, and he couldn't concentrate. And he went to the ER, and the doctor said that you have what we call a mild concussion. You actually suffer, the impact is strong enough that actually create a concussion in your head. So they did an MRI on him, they did an X-ray on him, and they couldn't find anything wrong with him. But what they did find out is that they said he has high blood pressure. And that's 2 years ago, which means that he was 30 years old, very athletic, no smoking, occasional drinking, just like everybody else, right? And there's no reason that he should be on the high blood pressure pills. But what the doctor said, medical doctor said that he had that, so we're going to want to give that to you. He didn't really want to take it. He took it for a few times, and he really had a side effect comes with it. Because usually, what the medication for the high blood pressure pill is what we know as a Lipitor, right? It's usually the statin, and there's a lot of side effect that comes with the statin. We're not talking about the muscle atrophy. We're talking about the liver damage. Sometimes it can cause even cognitive loss. We're talking about the Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So the side effects is very, very detrimental. So he didn't really want to take it. So he came to the office to see me because his friend said that, hey, he might be able to help you out. So he came in, and we were doing the history, and we were doing all that examination. And I said that you might have something going on with the upper neck area, so we're going to go ahead and give it adjustments. Okay. So this is what happened after the adjustment. So first visit, he came in. He had a blood pressure of 133 over 78 mercuries. Okay. So after one adjustment, right away, it reduced down to 122 over 80. That was back on June 21st, 2013, just last month. Okay, I said, all right, it actually looks very, very well, so we're going to stay with the way it is. And that was on Friday. Okay, I said, come back on Monday, we're going to recheck you. Okay, all right, so Monday he came in, and he had a blood pressure of 139 over 90. I said, what happened? What's going on over here? I said, what happened over the weekend? He said, hey, doc, I'm so sorry, but over the weekend, I actually went out to San Ramon, and we did a fishing trip. We were on the boat. We didn't drink any water, but we'll have a lot of beers. Right? So you guys all know the beers are definitely going to increase your blood pressure by that way. That's the only way they were hydrating themselves is through the beer, which is not very good. Of course, he's going to get a lecture from me about that. There's no other way around it. But even with that, after the adjustments, we went down to 130 and over 80. That's a pretty big drop. It's almost 9 and 10 drop on the blood pressure. Okay. Now he went out for a trip because he's a consultant, so he is all over the world. And today he came back, and that's why I was running a little bit late, because I was actually giving him an adjustment right before I came, and I put this into the stats. Today, he came in with a 136/82 because obviously his troubles are around, the air pressure goes in, and all the lifestyle comes into place. He went up again, 136/82, but after adjustment, he was 130/78. So even with this is only one study in my office. We have multiple studies about high blood pressure in my office, but this is one of the things this is one of the cases I want to bring out because this is the most recent ones. But even with that, it tells you that there's a direct relationship with your lifestyle, or about high blood pressure, of course, with your lifestyle, but there's also a direct relationship with your spine. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm running a high blood pressure or hypertensive specialized clinic. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that every time when you have a misalignment in your spine, you're always running the risk of some sort of systemic disease. It could be the high blood pressure, it could be the type 2 diabetes, it could be the asthma, allergy, whatever it is. Okay, so it's better for you to have your spine and your nervous system take a look at it, because no one ever think about your nerve or spine when it comes down to the checkup. We'll talk about the eyes, we'll talk about teeth, we'll talk about everybody else, every other parts in your body, but never your nervous system and your spine. Perhaps right now is the time for you to get that checked. Thank you very much.
Cool.
All right.
Wow, so it was definitely very professional, and what a great job to reduce 30-minute speech to 10 minutes with great message for 5 very simple rules. So if you would also take another 1 minute to write some evaluation for Alan.
I need to make an appointment, doctor.
You got it.